Hi. I haven't posted in a little bit because I had a little hospital stay, but I'm better. I'm doing really good now. If you look back at I think it's maybe the last video I posted, can't be sure right now, I was doing the large fiber bowl. It was very popular. Everybody seemed to like it. And so this is it. This is the large fiber bowl that was made in that video, if you can remember it. And there's a backup story, a continuing story, shall I say, with this. And that's because when this was done and she finished it, she felt that it was too thin. You can see this one. I deliberately made this one thin. And I've got Elmer's glue 50-50, and I stiffened it so it stays up. Otherwise it would collapse. But it's thin because I put a light in it, and it's like a night light. Well, that's not what Linda wanted for this. She wanted this to be thicker. So I'm just going to, this one got tied off. Usually we put little clips on it, but this one she tied it off. Well, let's just open it. I'm gonna have to cut it open. I have other balloons. And I wanna get this out of here. There. So now it's done. Now, this is finished. She has added more fiber. This is the thin one, and she's added more fiber to this. So now you see, it stands pretty good. I see a little things that she didn't do here that have to be done. She didn't seal the rim here. But anyway, she's got she finished the inside. So this is the process of repairing something or fixing what you didn't like. So she didn't want it this thin. She wanted it thicker. And you can see she hasn't even done the Elmer's glue 50-50 on this. And look at it, and it's been sitting with the balloon in it. It's really got a nice shape on it. The only thing, like I said, that she really has to do is, we call it mending. She needs to mend this rim. It's not mended enough, which I can have her work on. But anyway, so this video is all about how do you fix something you don't like. You wanted this to be thicker. So this is what it's going to cover. Okay, the first clip that you're going to see, the bowl has to be turned inside out, because you want to work on the inside. So even if you have a smaller hole, you should be able to pull it through, because then we're going to put a balloon in it. We're going to work on it. So that's the first thing you need to do. So this is a bowl that is too thin, or thought to be too thin. So we have turned it inside out. And then the next process is going to be to put a balloon in it and blow it up, but the outside is facing. And blow up as much as you can, tight as you can. So you want a big balloon because this is a big bowl. It doesn't have to worry about being even. Just all the way up, as tight as you can go. Push down on it. Push down, and then blow as you're pushing down. Keep blowing, tight as you can. Is that as tight? Mm-hmm. Okay, then twist it, and clip it twice. Okay, time for an insert. You just heard me say that she's supposed to twist the balloon and clip it off. And I want to make sure that you understand what I'm saying, because I hate that in videos when they do that and you don't know what they're talking about. I got this in the cute box. Isn't it, darling? You can get it on Amazon. But it's clips. People who sew, quilters, they use them. See the little plastic clips? Well, that's what she twists with the balloon, and then she put 2 of these on just because we want to secure it better. Then you take it off, deflate the balloon, work on it, you inflate them. Then you're not losing the balloon each time. Now you can tie it off if you want to, but I just wanted you to understand what we're talking about. We're talking about these clips. And these are quilter clips, just so you understand, okay? Now what we're going to do is we have to add more to the inside. We're going to felt again. So that has to be done with warm water, soap, and we'll show the process. After you've got the balloon in the bowl, and you've inflated it, you're now ready to start felting again. So you're going to get a bowl and you're going to fill it with as warm as you can stand water, soapy water. Just like when you were doing the initial felting process, but I want it to be really warm. And I suggest too at this point, we didn't do it, we should have, is get the little teeny soaps, that you can get at hotels or just small, so that you can use that in your hand. That's really helpful. But if not, you can just really get that soapy, but make it as hot as your hand can stand. And we're using the broth too. So you can we're gonna do the same process, but we're gonna felt onto the bowl on the outside. But I wanted you to know, because I didn't make it clear, that this needs to be really hot water. So my suggestion is going to be, first of all, you're going to have to get this wet. And this is very warm and it's very slimy. So fill it with this and start to get it wet.
With the soap inside?
Yeah, with the soapy stuff. Using the broth. People can use sponges. You don't have to use a broth. First you squeeze it, then you let it. Yeah. Did it fill?
Should I turn it upside down?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I would do it upside down, certainly. Now this is our way that if you think your bowl is too thin, you can thicken it. I sometimes just use glue because I want it to stay thin, but she wants it really to be a thicker bowl. And I want to show that if you happen to make a bowl and you're all done and you don't like it, you can add. I would get the whole thing wet before you do that.
Yeah,
just wet the whole thing. Just wet it.
It's not accepting the water.
Oh, because you got to brush it. Yeah, you got to get rid of that. Because there's a little, resisting it, like you break the tension, the water tension. The decision that has to be made is, are we going to put the new wool in quadrants, or are you going to do it in strips and just slowly go to the bottom, or from the bottom to the top? So a decision has to be made which way you're going to put it's going to be.
Okay.
So which do you think you'd like to think about doing?
I think start at the bottom.
And move to the top?
And move to the top.
So then, okay, flip it over then.
Okay.
Now, the thing that I recommend is rather than the wool that actually matches your bowl, I think we use something a little different so you know where you haven't put it.
All right.
You know what? You have a color change. So that's what I'm going to suggest you do. You're going to do one layer thin, and then you'll do another, so you can keep track of your layers, okay?
Do I sweat it down?
Yeah, very wet. It's got to be very soapy for this to
thinking
work.
wet. I just want to make sure.
I would spray it. I want it very soapy. I think I got to get you a bar soap, but let's just keep going.
Okay.
And we don't care what you're getting wet at this point. Your fingers are wet, it doesn't matter. Just don't put them on top of each other, just next to each other.
Yeah.
But you can keep track of the color because you'll see the color change, right?
Right.
So we found out that it helps if you pull it ahead of time so you're not doing it with wet hands. Then she's putting it on, but you're going to tell that you've got one thin layer because there's a color change. So we find that adding a Lazy Susan is also helpful.
Yes.
So what you do is you put it on, you wet it, but you're not going to massage it. You're just going to dampen it down with a lot of water until you get one layer on, or at least part of it. Then we'll start working on it after that. Can you see a difference? You almost don't see the difference in the colored wool, do you?
I do.
Can you see it
until
slightly?
put the water on.
It maybe should have been a little bit different, maybe more of a color change so you can see their layers. So the process was putting a layer of, and I would say even a more different colored wool than we use so that you could really dramatically see the difference, because this is not the first layer you're going to do anyway, so it's not going to show. And it's inside the bowl anyway. So get a color change so you're going to see it. Put that row on thinly, and you wet it just like you were felting before, and you cover the entire bowl. So because you can see the color change, you can make sure that you put an even layer all around. So the next thing that you're going to be doing, you've got that done, you've finished, you've gotten every part of it done, and then you're going to get the bubble wrap. Just like we did when we were felting, you get bubble wrap. And I had a bubble wrap bag, which came in one of my Amazon packages, and it fit perfectly. So we put it inside that bag with the bubble part touching the bowl. Obviously, you want the bubbles to be agitating on the outside of the bowl, and then you're going to see us doing that process. So once you put that first layer on evenly, as even as you can, wetting it good, soaping it really good, then you're going to do this next part, which is some agitation. Because when you're first putting that layer on, you're not agitating, you're just wetting it and getting the air out of it, just like pushing out the air and getting it on the bowl evenly. Well, next you're going to say to me, well, what if I don't have a bag? Because, of course, I showed you that I have. Well, first of all, you could make one out of the bubble wrap. You could get good sticky strapping tape and you could make a bag. Or just get a great big piece of the bubble wrap and just, wrap it around and tie it at the top, just like you would have making it into a bag. Or you can just take small pieces of bubble wrap, like a scrub brush with the bubbles, and you can agitate it that way. There's all kinds of ways to do that. I just happen to have that, but I just realized, what if you didn't? Well, you can find other ways to sort of get around that and make it. You just want to have something that you can push on it and begin to, of course, felt it. And that's what we're doing. We're doing this felting phase. Now, normally it's flat. Normally, remember, it's a flat thing and you're rolling it. Well, we can't do that. We can't roll it. We have to do it on the on the balloon. So that's what my suggestion is. You can find other ways. You can, like I said, get a great big piece of bubble wrap and then, bring it up around and tie it at the top. You could solve it other ways. Oh, okay. So what we're going to be doing is we'll have the holes on the inside, the bubble part, and then we want to massage it. Let's see if we can tighten it. Just a second. The purpose is to have very slimy hands, and you're going to roll it on here because you want to begin to felt it, but not totally. We just want to get some of it to stay down. The concept here is that we have put a layer on top of a previously felted bowl. So we want to get this new layer to begin to put its barbs into that finished one that we're trying to thicken. But we don't want it to totally felt because we're going to put another layer on top. So we have to do this finite rolling it and just beginning to get it to begin to felt down. But you have to make sure that we put this into a bubble wrap bag that I got in the mail. You just want to make sure that you've made sure the bubbles are on the inside, not the outside, so that you're actually agitating something. And don't worry about if it gets a little lumpy on the inside. We can change that. We just want to get something to adhere.
You said I could roll it too.
Yeah. And we don't know how long to do it because this is, we've just seen it, we're practicing with it. You just watched us put the first layer and agitate it. In other words, begin to do the actual felting process. Now, I made a comment. We don't want to felt it to the point that it's so solid because we want to put another layer on top. Even if you did that, I think it would still be okay. This is very forgiving, but we kind of want to not do it quite that long. So how long should you do it? I can't say that I can give you an exact amount of time. I wish that I could. I'm going to say you don't want to go over 5 minutes. I would not get into this big long thing, but agitate it, get it so that you think that it's really coming down. It's really beginning, going on there. Now, if you're new to this, you're not going to know that, are you? So then use my 5-minute rule if you want to, but you just want to make sure that you've rubbed it all over and it's going to start to felt down. And after you do this first layer, and we're going to do many more layers, you're going to get a feel for it. You're going to see, well, maybe I should go 10 minutes. As we progress, and of course, as we get further down to the last layer, we are going to felt longer. But in the beginning, we want it still to have the barbs out so we can put another layer on top. And the next thing we want to remember is, we've learned something from this. Each time we do a layer, let's make sure it's a different color, enough so that we can really see it, so we can cover it evenly. Now it is. Okay, so now what we did, it's down pretty good. We can see areas we could have, if we had a better color change, we'd have seen it. Now we have a color change. So now we're going to start the next layer.
How many layers are we putting on?
We don't know yet. Oh, definitely 3, I'm sure.
Okay, so that was layer 1?
Yes. So this is her so far. We're putting that layer on, and you can see when you have a really big difference, it's much easier to see. So note, this layers have to be very, very, very thin. Not thick at all. You have to make multiple, but they're thinner because they can get too, this is our problem. We had them get too thick and we had to pull them off. So that was a lesson learned. Very thin, wet, soapy, but thin, no clumpy. So now we've got that second layer on, and now we didn't put it in the bag. This time we thought we'd just roll it and push it. And we're aware that some areas are lighter, but that's okay. This time we just made a thinner, and we're working with it. So we put it in the bag, and we're rolling it. And this needs probably a good 5 minutes or so, or maybe even 10, to get that to start to felt into that other layer. Third layer. This is the progress. And so that's thin layers again. The last part, you're having it in the bag and you're really agitating it, and now you can hit it and beat it, because you really want to force all those wool fibers to catch onto each other. And you want it to go deep, and that's kind of pounds it into it. So this is the one where now when you're in the final thing, you can get really aggressive, you can spend some time, and you can really get that to do the felting process. But now remember, the inside of this vessel has already been felted, so we're just doing the inside of it, not the outside. And of course, we're going to have to take the soap out of it. Okay. This was our last layer. She decided to do the blue. It's really not even going to show that much. It's dark in there, but there'll be a reflection. Now this, we decided this was our last layer. That doesn't have to be your last layer. You can put another layer on, you decide. But this was ours, and now you're going to spend a longer time agitating it. Now you're felting solidly. That's why she did the rolling. I didn't show that. I showed her hitting it with a ruler because that's a little bit different. But you're going to do that agitation and the rolling just like you saw on the other sections for the other layers. You're going to massage it. You don't even have to put it in the bag. You can just put a little bit of the bubble wrap on your hand. But you want to really start agitating it, rubbing, soapy, rubby, hitty. And of course, it's going to be longer. 15 minutes, maybe. Really make sure that you're really spending some time here, because that's your last layer. Whenever you're at your last layer, you're going to get more serious at this part that we're at now. Now let's see what we're going to do next. So then I'm asking her to open it up, and we need to check to see if it looks like it's beginning to felt. And you can tell because it's not going to come away. It looks like it's smoother. It's not moving as much. Okay, I want to make another comment here. You can see that she's opening the bag, and this is our supposed final layer, and she's going to be taking it out of the bag, and we're going to see her go over to the sink, and we're going to begin to get the soap out of it. But I want to stop right here and mention something which is not mentioned in the video. When it's on the balloon, when it's still on the balloon, she's pulling it back. Stop right there and spend some time mending your rim. Because I mentioned at the beginning, this isn't mended enough. So before you take it off the balloon, keep it soapy, put your fingers under between the balloon and this, and massage it. Massage. You can push the balloon, and you can also do it after it comes off, the balloon is away. But right now, what's on the balloon, push on it. Really spend some time mending this, because this is not mended enough. So I would say, I would even maybe do 5 minutes of mending, because this is the rim. Before you take it off and before we do the rinsing process, I would like to add that. So you're going to mend. Mending is rubbing when it's soapy and it's wet. So do that at this point. At this point, before you go over and wash it at the sink, I want to stop and note one other thing. We didn't have time. We had to move forward. But when you look at it, remember it's going to be inside out. And it's on the balloon, but you haven't gone to wash it yet. Look at it. When I looked at that one, if you'll notice in the video, you can see a little bit of spots where the blue, you can see the color underneath the blue coming through, lighter color. That's areas that she didn't do that last layer evenly enough. Now, point of fact, it's inside of this bowl. Look at this. You can't see that. You're not really going to see it. But if you're a perfectionist, and being a perfectionist, it's a little bit difficult because you really want everything perfect. And Linda is a little bit that way. She doesn't want to see that. At this point, don't rinse it. Stop and take another layer of that same color. just find those spots. Don't do the whole thing, but look at all those spots and do it again. And put it back in and agitate the whole process again as if you're doing a whole layer, but you don't have to. You can just do it in spots, then put it back and start agitating it again for 10, 15 minutes. You're gonna have to really do it the same process that you just did. But that way you can mend those little areas that you see that you can see the other color come through. Now it's not really gonna show, but if it bothers you, then just pretend you're doing a whole other layer, but just spot it, but then put it back, agitate again, 10 minutes, really a long time. Now it's also going to start agitating the whole thing, but that's okay. At this point, it doesn't matter. So you can still do the spot. You don't have to do an even layer, but if you want to, you could. You wouldn't have to spot. You can put another layer of that final color on. It's not going to matter. Now you don't want to get into 6 and 7 layers, no, but you're not that point yet. We were just doing 4 or 5 layers. They're thin, remember, they're not very much. So you still have the ability to add layers if you wish. And this is the point you do it. Because after this, we're going to wash it. Now, after I said that, there is no point of no return. Even after you've washed it, finished it, dried it, you can come back in your kitchen, wet it, and just do this process again. This is so forgiving. So we have it, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna put it underneath the warm water and in the balloon. It's already beginning to wrinkle. See, it's beginning to felt, and she's gonna rinse out. We can't see this part, but she's taking the balloon, and she's taking the balloon. There it is. She took the balloon out, and now she's going to turn it inside out, or right side out, and then rinse it again. Kind of just roll it up and get some of the water out of it. In the towel, kind of squeeze it around. Yeah. Look at the color showing through. Isn't that beautiful? That little peekaboo. So she's trying to get a lot of the water out of it, so there's less to dry.
This piece of the inside.
Now, we did not, everybody, felt the inside as much as we would felt the outside of the vessel. You can if you want to, but you're done with the inside. You just want it there for sturdiness. And you're going to do one more little thing to make it sturdier. You just haven't got that far yet.
Okay.
You're going to make a little Elmer's glue wash. And
Oh, yeah,
go
that's
inside
right.
and that's going to. Okay, I think that's good enough.
Okay.
And now you're going to get your balloon and your little clips, and we're going to blow that up. But this time you want to really go around and round and round and round and round, lots of round and rounds at the top of the balloon, so that it's really going to, because we find that the balloon deflates in the night. We kind of want not that to happen. Okay,
Yeah.
watch your balloon so it's not soapy in your mouth. Now you're going to put that in here, and you're going to blow that up again. And you can always soap this again later on and massage that if you want that to come together better, but don't worry about it now. You just want to get that balloon in there, nice centered, blow it up as full as you can. And then we're going to put those clips. But you have to do a lot of twisting it when you're done. Get to the bottom, yeah. And then, guys, this is a big felted bowl, so she has to use a big balloon. Look at how gorgeous this bowl is, everybody. Push it down and blow some more, but push, yes. And then push it down.
It's squealing.
Blow it some more. Even if it comes out of the top, that's okay. Okay. Now, a little bit left maybe, and then, and then twist it, like tons and tons of times.
Does that seem like a good seal?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if I can
Twist it. I mean, a whole bunch, as many twists. She's going to put 2 clips on it because they do tend to leak. You can seal the balloon off. If you don't mind losing the balloon, at this point you could tie it off. Now, there it is. It's got to dry.
Okay, here we go.
So the drying process you're not actually seeing because Linda took it home. But let me talk about what that was off camera. So it's got the balloon in it, right? Now, wool dries pretty quickly, but this is a big, thick bowl. So it's going to take a couple of days. Now, when you're drying it, while it's this way, the water in the felt into the wool is going to start to drip this way. So it'll all end up soaking here. So you dry it a little bit this way, then you turn it upside down and dry it this way. If you can find a vase or something that you can lay it on so that you can get air all around it like this, you see, it's on a surface, it's not drying there. So you want to kind of, I've actually taken cups and done that or something so that basically it's got air coming around it. And then if the balloon deflates, just blow it up again, keep it firm, and just let it dry, 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 dry. And that's all, and that's what she did. And the firmer you keep it, the less wrinkles. She didn't have any wrinkles at all. She got rid of them all. So now, she's done. She could be done. I would put I still would put a layer of Elmer's glue and water, and I can do a short video to show you that, but it's really, all you're doing is painting it on. But even if you didn't want to do this part, I would do the bottom because it gives it a little bit more firm sit, like I have here. I've done it on here. It's a better sit. But, and the other thing it does is it gets rid of some of the fuzzies. But if you like the fuzzies, because this is wool, then leave it. Again, I thought she needs to work on this again to mend this, but she wouldn't have to. And as I look inside, now when you look inside, she can see the different areas that she feels the color on the other side is coming through. I'm looking in there and I think it looks like a starry, starry sky. So I would like to tell her to leave it alone. Because when you look in, it looks like starry, starry sky. So I'm hoping she will just leave it. But she can do it again. You can put this inside out, put another layer on, whatever you'd like to do. And theoretically, you could do it on the outside as long as you haven't put the Elmer's glue on it. If you, for some reason, didn't like how it came out, you could put it back on a balloon in here and do the outside again. That's what I love about this. I don't feel like there's mistakes you can't fix or something you don't like. Because you know, when you are doing the felting process, what you've laid down in a design element is kind of migrating. So you may not get what you thought. Like, she didn't plan this design. It sort of came out as she did it. If you look at that first video, she's just laying the different colors on. So this is the finished, as far as this part. Now we do put the Elmer's on. That could be another video that I could show. But I wanted you to see how you can add more thickness. I hope this was helpful and that you enjoyed it. And if you did, I'd like to remind you, please hit the like, the little thumbs up for me. It just helps the video, where they place it, the strength of the video. It has nothing to do with you paying anything or monetary, because this is a non-monetized channel. But if you wouldn't mind, and if you would make a comment, that would be lovely. But please, please hit the thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. Okay, thank you.